happening, everybody? I'm Trevor Noah. Welcome to The Daily Show. And not just any Daily Show. We're coming to you from the Tabernacle Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, everybody. We made it! We're here in Atlanta. That's right, baby. A-Town, Hotlanta. I love it.
Well, Roy, Dulcé, thank you for joining me today. Talk about The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, the Tabernacle in downtown Atlanta. Now, Roy, the show hasn't been on the road in 4 years. Did the midterm seem like the perfect time to get out and speak to the people?
Yeah, because to me, the midterms are as important, if not more important, than the actual presidential election, in my opinion, because it's state and local politics, and we also get to elect the people that will eventually go to Washington to not do what the president wants to do on either side.
And Dulcé, what can fans expect in your coverage for Atlanta for Vote Demic 2022? Any certain topics that you're ready to discuss?
Well, as someone who, sorry, I realized I was not in the, But as you can see from my Nicholas, it is the great state of Georgia. Because I grew up in Atlanta and Miami. And most of my life has been spent in Atlanta until I was forced to move to New York. And so we'll be talking about like, not only just like, you know, the importance of the voting aspects of it, but also, you know, the cultural significance of the city to basically, you know, the rest of America, talking to people about that and, you know, just touching on little fun points of the city. We're currently across the street from, you know, Centennial Park, and we're near the State Farm Arena and the Mercedes-Benz Arena. And, you know, it's a lot of, it's fun. I'm glad to be home. And it's interesting to this job that, you know, really just changed my life. It's interesting to be able to bring it back to, you know, where I grew up at.
And Roy, what issues are you finding that are most important with voters in Georgia? Does it pretty much reflect the rest of the country too?
Yeah, I think that's part of why we came here, is that I don't think there's an issue happening in Georgia that isn't a bigger issue across the country. You know, when you talk about a no permit, no background check gun law, when you talk about a heartbeat bill with regards to abortion, and when you talk about labor rights, and you start talking about gerrymandering districts to affect voter turnout and the efficacy of the Black vote, or I guess the now inefficacy of the Black vote in a lot of districts. I was speaking with a young student over at UGA, over at the University of Georgia, and they were talking about how, you know, some of the colleges here that had huge voter turnout for Biden are now split down the middle. So now you used to be able to vote at your school. Now it depends on what your address is. And so it's just all of this tricky stuff that is starting to be created here is happening everywhere else. So we just felt like this is a great place to do it. Also, you know, Herschel Walker, he's a walking comedy show. So how could you not? How could you not, Jeff?
Yeah. And also the, you know, passing a law saying that you can't give, you know, people water while they're standing in line, or contesting people's registration, you know, going and saying that, oh, you know, we're contesting your registration. It's like, what are you talking about? We're just taking people off of voter rolls, things of that nature. You know, as someone who's voted here, it's always that feeling like when you go into place, you're like, all right, let's see if I get to vote today, which is weird because it was like, I distinctly remember people marching and being killed. For me to be able to come and check out, how is it still a thing? But, you know, it's important that for anybody that says that voting is not important, if it wasn't important, they wouldn't try so hard for you to not be able to do it. If somebody puts this much effort into taking away your ability to do something, it's an important thing.
If it wasn't enough for American voters, Roy, to have all of those issues at the forefront, just put conspiracy theories on top of it, just mixing it up, making it worse. And there's still, the theories are still prevalent, aren't they? I mean, especially in Georgia.
Yeah, I think that, those conspiracy theories are definitely prevalent, all over the country. But, when you look at a lot of red states as Georgia is in terms of the governorship, I know that they have Warnock and Ossoff in Washington right now, but you're looking at, even if you look at what happened with Nancy Pelosi's husband, with that unfortunate attack in her home earlier, well, last week at this point. There's people coming out the woodworks and using that to spin it as crime, and everything is instantly politicized into how can this benefit my party? How can I spin it? Which, to a degree, to me, is worse than a conspiracy theory, because at least with a conspiracy, it's like, all right, you're a little out there. But when you're able to take a simple event as someone being attacked in their home and spin it into this bigger narrative about, oh, the crime is taking over, even the Democrats are feeling the heat. It's like, okay, to me, that's more dangerous, because that's an easier sell. It's a more convincing sell.
Especially, when you believe a conspiracy theory is different than acting on it, so, and that's what it seems like a lot of people are doing now, and making it even more
You
dangerous.
got the dude that punched out and assaulted Pelosi's husband. They found his laptop and computer and all of that stuff, and all types of names written down, QAnon ties, the whole nine. And there's candidates that are running on these platforms. You want to talk about activating voters. You can get a conspiracy theorist to the polls, you might be able to swing an election.
Well, the Daily Show is front and center, exposing all of these untruths and all these conspiracy theories, and doing it with comedy. Roy, Dulcé, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in Atlanta, and I'll be watching. And it's always a great thrill to speak to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.